If you're thinking about shelling out your hard-earned cash on a flashy PC or fancy RTX 4090, you might want to have a proper think, because I'm here to tell you that the best PC games of 2023 are indie titles. Yes, my pedigree chums, you heard that right. Today's video is going to delve into the perplexing state of PC gaming, where it's both amazing and dreadful all at once. Building a PC these days ain't no walk in the park, not because of the technical know-how, but because of the question of why bother investing in a rig to play pixel art style games. So sit back, grab yourself a cuppa, and let's have a chat in today's video. So Reggie here is one of them high-end graphic whores. All the videos you see on this channel are created with an RTX 4080, a whopping 4TB of NVMe goodness, a beastly 64GB of RAM, and an i9 9900K that's soon going to be upgraded to the mighty 13900K. And you know why I'm planning that CPU upgrade? It ain't for some fancy schmancy gaming experience. Instead, it's all about keeping my productivity and editing times down to a bloody minimum. Programs like Adobe Premiere Pro and Handbrake can be slow as and when you're trying to compete with banger bros and pump out near 2 videos a week, having a top-notch CPU can be a proper upgrade. So don't confuse Reggie's CPU upgrade with just needing it for gaming purposes. And that's the bloody beauty of it, you see, because we got indie titles to keep us busy like there's no tomorrow. I've been finding myself playing the Steam Deck and my trusty ROG Ally more than my own PC these days. And that's because the most fun games, the ones that really get me blood pumping Ron Jeremy style, are the ones that ain't about flashy graphics or fancy physics. Nah, instead they're the simple looking ones, the ones you can pick up in minutes but master in hours. It's all about the gameplay, as true today as it was 30 years ago. So far we've come across some proper spectacular games. Take Shadows of Doubt for instance. It's a blinding title where you step into the shoes of a detective in a sandbox adventure, solving crimes in procedurally generated cities. What's cracking about Shadows of Doubt is its originality and the way it keeps you on your toes. Every tosser in this game is a suspect, and it's the right thrill of trying to figure out who's the culprit. It goes to re-emphasise the point that flashy graphics don't always mean flashy gameplay. Sometimes it's the simple yet brilliantly crafted experiences that hook you in. And just the other day we got our mitts on Dave the Diver, a proper belter of a game that on paper shouldn't really work, but in its execution it's a bloody addictive showpiece. In this game you're running a sushi restaurant by night and diving into the deep blue sea by day. Graphically it's rather beautiful. Even though it's pixel art, the artists knew their onions when it come to working with colours and mixing particle effects with a particular style in mind. Last time my eyes lit up that much was watching the opening scene to Barbed Wire. And then we got BattleBit Remastered, one of the biggest bangers of the year. This game is a proper online extravaganza with 254 players going at it, flying choppers, driving tanks and buzzing around in Humvees, shooting up soldiers left, right and centre. Now BattleBit Remastered may not be the most graphically fancy game of the bunch that we've discussed today, but it's full of heart and desire to create fun. And the best part is, none of these games will require a beastly rig to run. You can have a proper good time at 1080p, and all 3 games combined will cost you less than $60. I've thrown up in an Uber and been charged more than that. What a bargain. Reggie here still finds himself drawn to them big indie hits from the past too. There's something about Subnautica for instance that just gets me all excited to dive in and explore. And the recent summer Steam Fest, it's been a joy watching one indie title after another, keeping me hooked and pleasantly surprised at how far the industry's come. And let's not underestimate them either, because games like Spaceborne 2, made by a single person, actually looks bloody good. I've also spent countless hours in Valheim and Stardew Valley this year. Many of you lovely lot have mentioned how much you appreciate the variety of games that we review on this channel, and I'm truly grateful for that. These type of games are my preference, but that don't mean that AAA games can't impress me. The problem is 2023 has been a right load of old bollocks. So why is it that Reggie thinks that 2023 was a shambles? Well, as PC gamers, we got The Last of Us remake, and it was a right clusterfuck of technical issues. Then there was Star Wars Survivor, another bloody mess of problems, and don't even get me started on Battlefield 2042. That game was laughed out the room late last year, and now we've got Redfall, possibly the biggest joke of 2023, but hold on to your horses, because Lord of the Rings Gollum is fighting hard to take that crown of being the biggest joke of them all. These lot, they couldn't organise an orgy in a brothel. So what AAA title from 2023 has managed to impress old Reggie? Well, I got to say, Diablo 4 really did tickle my fancy. It's a bloody good game, and the best part is, you don't actually need a beastly rig to enjoy it to its fullest. Hogwarts Legacy, I thought that was another strong one to throw in the mix. Got to admit, if you do have a hefty rig, it does take the enjoyment factor to a whole new level. But the best game by far is The Legend of Zelda Tears of Kingdom. Funnily enough, this game has its struggles on the Switch at times, showing the Switch's age and a need for an update. But you know what? It just goes to show that gameplay reigns supreme. And when it comes to PC gaming, having a hefty rig with all the bells and whistles really shines in two areas. First up, we got VR. Games like Half-Life Alyx, they really showcase the need when using a high-end headset. Every time I fire up that game, I'm blown away. And then we got the simulators, especially the ones where you get to fly. Microsoft Flight Simulator is an absolute stunner. Crank up the graphics to Ultra at 4K and it's really like you're there in the skies, grinning from ear to ear. Same goes for DCS, Elite Dangerous if you play it in VR, and of course good old Star Citizen. Those games really make you appreciate the power of a top-notch rig, no doubt about it. Now we come on to the final biggie for 2023, and that's none other than Starfield. Who knows how that's going to run? Will it have the typical graphical issues we've come to expect from Bethesda, or are we in for another cyberspunk premature ejaculation? Only time will tell, I suppose, but if we look at the track record of 2023, you can't help but feel a sense of dread creeping in. Fingers crossed it turns out to be a belter. And with that in mind, I'll wrap up this short video because it's more to pose the question of high-end PC gaming and its current value. Because frankly, the AAA games of 2023 do not match the AAA hardware we now all possess. Instead, retro-style pixel art, small development teams, low budgets and zero marketing make for some of the most magical, brilliant and superb gaming to be found. Which is why 2023 makes it such a confusing year for us PC gamers. And until next time, my lovelies, have a good day. Reggie out.